Welcome back. Pension administration continues to be a priority for some governors, and the governor of Anambra State, Willie Obianor, is the one who appears to be leading the pack. And to this effect, the Nigeria Union of Pensioners has honored him with an award of excellence as the most pensioner-friendly governor and friend to senior citizens in the country.
A delegation from the Nigerian Union of Pensioners on a visit to the governor to show their appreciation for his efforts on prompt payment of pension. They are bequeathing him with the highest honor as the most pensioner-friendly governor and friend of the senior citizens in Nigeria.
Actions speak louder than voices. Excellency, sir, the way you have been paying us regularly and the way you have been giving us a rise every year shows that you have us in your mind.
The highly elated governor reassures them of his administration's commitment in developing both human and fiscal infrastructure.
The worker deserves respect. This is the Bible. So yes, and you can't just continue to do roads and people are hungry, you know.
After the meeting, the state chairman calls on other state governors to live up to their responsibilities.
Pensioners are people who spent their youthful period in service of the state, and they are denied the opportunity of receiving their entitlement when they are weak and old. Those governors who are owing them, when they die, when pensioners die in their state, there is a school of thought that it is not the will of God. It is the act of executive sentence, executive murder, the act of executive murder by those governors ruling in the states where pensioners are being owed.
The pensioners assured to the governor of their support, especially during the governorship elections once he declares to run.
Thank you.
Nigerian leaders have been encouraged to be God-fearing and to make life more meaningful for the masses. This admonition comes from Professor Ishaq Akintola, the director of Muslim Rights Concern, who spoke at a program to commemorate the Ramadan fast in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Also, the host and Ogun State Governor, Ibukuli Amosun, called on citizens, especially Muslim faithful, to fulfill their social obligations as part of efforts to revive Nigeria's economic fortunes.
1% of Nigerians consume 85% of its wealth. 1% of our population consume 85% of our materials, of our money. Leaving only 15% for 99% for you and me, for the masses. You see, when you put God-fearing people on the seat of power, at the helm of affairs, you see performance. For who? For the people.
When we are close to God, we will serve our people well. But let me confirm to you that we are not totally immune from the challenges that is confronting the whole country. The recession that is happening is affecting all of us. So let me call on all of us in Ogun State not to cease from their continued prayers. The prayers alone will not do it. We need to walk our talk. All of us need to do our bit. Again, all of us need to give to the government. We should pay our dues. Taxes must be paid as and when due. When you pay your taxes, then you can challenge the government when they are not doing what they should do.
Residents of Warri South local government area of Delta State are demanding justice following the death of a father of three, Ajayi Oladile, who was allegedly killed by soldiers. Reports say the victim was tortured over a 1.5 million naira debt by men of the 4th Mechanized Brigade in Benin City, who also denied him prompt medical attention. Our community report tonight looks at the case and what the agencies involved in the investigation are saying.
The streets of Warri, in the midst of the hustle and bustle, has a certain news filtering through it. one that has the metropolis and inner city up in anger. They are angry because a crime has been committed against one of their own, allegedly killed by men of the Nigerian army over a deal gone wrong. The story has it that the victim, Ajayi Oladele, was on the 12th of May 2017 whisked from his residence by some soldiers over 1.5 million naira. An action allegedly ordered by the commanding officer of the 4th Brigade Military Intelligence Group. When he was brought home, his neighbors were shocked at his condition and thought he would be released to them so treatment could be administered. But that was not to be.
On that fatal Friday,
as an easygoing fellow who will be sorely missed.
I've met him for almost 2 years in this environment. He's somebody that is peace-loving. He greets everybody, appreciates everybody, as in terms of his character.
Those most affected are his family members. The home is shattered. Tears stream down his widow's face as she throws questions over what is now an uncertain future.
He cannot just die like that. He was not the one that collected this money. Oh. He was not the one that collected the money. You can see me now. Me with 3 children, you can see me. How will I feed? How will I parent? How will I pay their school fees? How do we cope? How do we cope?
His brother is livid that the opportunity to take Ayodele for treatment was thwarted by the soldiers, which ultimately led to his death.
So supposing they did not hijack him from our vehicle, then let us take him to the hospital that very day. He would have survived by now. At least maybe he would have been okay by now. Because the BP, the temperature was so high as at that moment, even though they checked that it should be around 200 plus. As at that moment, I was even pleading with the soldiers. At least they did not even listen to me. They said it's the order that they gave to them.
Seeking for justice on behalf of the family, the Warri chapter of the Nigerian Bar Association says those behind his killing must be brought to justice.
I was also there. I witnessed everything. And I'm also aware of the fact that the soldiers, rather than taking the man to the hospital, we were about 5 minutes drive to the hospital. They insisted that the man should be taken to his house. I was against that. And I said, okay, if you are insisted that this man should be taken to his house, then you or your own take the body. So that if anything happens, you'll be held responsible.
For the police, the case is priority.
It's an allegation so far, and investigations are onto it, and as soon as the command is through with its investigations, we will let our findings be made known to the public.
The army, on its part, has issued a statement on the matter, wholeheartedly condemning the crime. A pathetic story, a life lost, a family in mourning, a community seeking justice. Hopefully, the end result will see the perpetrators exposed, and not a case of unknown soldiers.
Experts on gender-based issues have raised concerns over the increasing rate of sexual and domestic violence in Nigeria, despite efforts by governments and relevant agencies in dealing with these societal ills. At a conference in Lagos, participants suggested modern strategies for protecting women and how best to offer help and support for victims of sexual and domestic violence.
I'm a life coach and psychotherapist.
The 2017 WAPA Connect conference, organized by the Lagos Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, is designed to raise awareness on the impact of domestic violence, gender discrimination on women, while encouraging them for economic empowerment.
Until now, what has been less talked about is the economic cost to society of these horrific and unacceptable levels of violence, which include lost earnings, lost revenue, lost tax revenue, etc. When these losses to gender-based violence increase, growth cannot be maximized or harvested.
To actualize the objectives of this conference, a panel comprising seasoned professionals share their experiences and thoughts on contemporary ways of dealing with domestic violence and other gender issues. Discussions focused on domestic harmony through multi-perspective analysis, human trafficking, and women entrepreneurship in the 21st century, among others.
We need to look at interventions that are effective. We need to look at, first of all, the self-defense classes that are carried out that women can actually attend. that would empower them and make them powerful. We need to look at the education of not just the boy child, who, as far as he's concerned, is socially acceptable to hit a woman.
Experts suggest that less dependability by women may be a better way of curbing gender inequality and domestic violence. But speaking against all forms of violence is a more formidable approach.
You find that it's difficult a lot of times for a woman to come forward to say, my husband is abusing me or is talking to me the way I don't like. What you find a lot of times, even when you find cases of women that are physically abused, the question is, are they really ready to go the whole hog?
The organizers believe that information provided at this conference will be of great help in assisting relevant stakeholders to take more concerted action towards eliminating domestic violence and gender-based discrimination, as well as fostering domestic harmony in the society.
On to Edo State now, where Governor Godwin Obaseki has dedicated his victories, both at the polls and the courts, to God and to the people of Edo State, whom he says have continued to stand by his administration. Governor Obaseki stated this today during his Thanksgiving service at the Christ Embassy Church in Benin City, the Edo State capital. The governor also promised to continue to work for the economic development of the state, vowing not to abandon his campaign promises.
Appeal to my case, and here we are. Friday, I was given judgment. Today, coincidentally, the patriarch of our family, Justice Obaseki, is 93, so I'm supposed to be the family that was going after appeal. But I just felt that, given what the Lord has done for us, for me, for my family, for the state, the least I can do is to give thanks. So I want the church this morning to join me in this historic moment where it will be a record that I'm the first person to do a Thanksgiving in this church.
Still ahead on the news at 10. Spain's Rafael Nadal wins record 10th French Open singles title at Roland Garros. That's coming up in sports news. Just stay with us.